Hello, and welcome back to Nerd News. Today we have rumors on a Zelda animated movie, and we have the Last of Us TV show premiering in a week, and Neil Druckmann's had some things to say on it over the last week or so. Let's get started. First up, we have The Legend of Zelda and the rumors that it'll be getting an animated movie. This is coming from Go Nintendo, but they're sourcing Giant Freaking Robot. And trusted and proven sources have apparently predicted other big news, such as Henry Cavill not returning to play Superman and Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine for Deadpool 3, have said that Illumination is working on a Legend of Zelda film, animated film. Given Nintendo's recent effort to spread their franchises outside of games and Miyamoto's own testament to having a good relationship with Illumination, I mean, fine, I guess. So I don't want to talk too much on this one specifically because I want to do a video just on Nintendo and their films, the possibilities with their films. But I think Zelda is the obvious next choice. This doesn't even need to be a substantiated rumor. This is just, if Mario does well, I would expect to hear about a Zelda film within the next, year or so. Just because Zelda's the next biggest property that they have. And it makes complete sense. I honestly, just like the Mario movie taking this long to really come out, it's a little weird. It's really kind of weird that it's been this long we haven't had any adaptation of Zelda. I know we had the old cartoon, but that was different and not very good. But with how many stories there are for Zelda, it's really surprising that they didn't just make a movie at some point, or at least attempt to. So I could definitely see this happening. This makes perfect sense. And there was rumors of a Donkey Kong project coming out of the Mario movie project, so maybe they see how Mario does, and then Donkey Kong and Zelda come within the next couple of years. And again, that's viable. I see that as that's what's probably going to happen, assuming Mario does well. Obviously, if Mario fails, I think all these plans will just get scrapped immediately. But if Mario does well, and I think it will because it looks really good, I could see a Zelda and a Donkey Kong movie both being announced next. Donkey Kong getting spun out of Mario with Seth Rogen. It seems like an easy win at the box office. And Zelda being Zelda, it's obviously the next major franchise I think everyone would like to see. While there are better selling franchises from Nintendo, like Splatoon, I guess, and definitely Pokemon. But Pokemon has its own anime going on, so that doesn't really count. And I don't think Splatoon would transfer as well to a movie. I mean, you could make a pretty good Splatoon movie. I don't see why you couldn't, but I think Zelda comes first at the very least. So yeah, this just seems like something that's pretty obvious to happen, and they're just reporting that it is happening. But honestly, this is like leaking a new Nintendo system every 6 months. Like, eventually you're going to be right because it just makes too much sense. Like, of course it's going to happen. If the Mario movie is a success, of course this is going to happen. So I don't see this. I don't care that much whether or not the leak is true or not, because I just think it's something that's probably going to happen anyway. And next up, we have the Last of Us TV show, which is going to be premiering in a week, so next Sunday. It's going to be an hour and 25 minutes long premiere. That's a movie. 90 minutes is a movie. That's a long-ass time for a season premiere. However, I have a feeling that most of the episodes are going to be like an hour long, so it's not that much longer than a normal episode, but that still sounds like a really long time. I do think that's a good thing, though. We want to get as much in each episode as possible because of the way the story works, and I'm happy with this. I can't wait to see the show. It looks like it's going to be fantastic. There's not really a whole lot to say. It looks really good. I've seen some complaints. I don't really understand them. Like, Neil Druckmann's working on the show, and they're trying to stay as faithful to the show as possible. I've heard some backlash to that because they haven't. They announced that the spores would not be part of the show, so no gas mask scenes, which, in my opinion, is fine. A lot of movies and TV shows, and just in general media, will do this when they hire, big name actors like this to play characters. They don't really want to cover their face the entire time. Not that Pedro Pascal is, a stranger to having his face covered. They usually don't want to spend the money on him and then, cover his face. And the same goes for Bella Ramsey. I see no reason why they'd want to cover their faces the entire time. And those sections could go on for a long period. So it makes sense that they would just kind of rework that a little bit. I don't think that's really not staying faithful to the games. most of the Spore stuff was just mechanics in the game. I don't think it was specifically necessary to tell the story. It's just something that worked better in the game. In live action, when you're spending money and you have to recoup it, they probably just don't want to cover their faces. All that superhero movies do this all the time, where their masks have to come off. It's not that big of a deal. It can be a little annoying, but it's fine. But the show itself looks really good, and we're just a week away. I can't wait. And an hour and a half premiere it's a long premiere, but I think it's going to be worth it. And next up, to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Warner Brothers, Duck Dodgers is getting a Blu-ray set. This will be coming this year, so 2023. Obviously, as someone who likes physical media, I am perfectly happy to see some of these older cartoons get releases that are readily available. I don't know if I really need Duck Dodgers specifically on Blu-ray, but I'm not going to complain about it. I do really like Duck Dodgers. I'm not a huge Looney Tunes fan, just in general. Looney Tunes is fun. I do enjoy it. I have nothing against it or anything like that, but it's not my favorite thing to watch from Warner Brothers. But Duck Dodgers specifically I do really like because it features two of the characters I like most out of Looney Tunes, which are Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. They're quite good. This is one of the Looney Tunes shows I like a lot more than some of the others. So I'm pretty excited for this. I'll probably end up picking it up just because it's fun and I like having stuff like this. Hopefully they do more for the 100th anniversary. I can think of a lot of other shows that need physical releases. Tiny Toons would be nice. I think Tiny Toons has a DVD set, but I don't think it's the whole series, so a complete DVD set or a complete Blu-ray set for the series would be really good. And then just do some weird stuff with this. If you're going to do a 100th anniversary, the obvious stuff, in my opinion, is already readily available. Maybe let's not do that. Let's do some of the weirder Warner Brothers stuff that just never gets shown. There's tons of Warner Brothers stuff that doesn't have physical releases. Let's get some. This is a good start. Let's get some weird stuff like this full releases. Speaking of Looney Tunes, let's do like Baby Looney Tunes complete series. That would be wonderful. I loved Baby Looney Tunes, and it only has like random DVDs. There's no like box set or anything like that where you get all the episodes. There's like random episodes on DVD, and that's really it. Let's get that on Blu-ray. That'd be fun. And lastly for today, we have Security Force or S-Force Night Chaser. This is a new Link 1 coming out of Cyberstorm Access, and that is an 800 attack, Dark Cybers Link 1, link arrow pointing down, bottom middle. Materials are just one non-Link S-Force monster. I believe there's only one S-Force monster that is a Link, and it's the Link 3 that like points up Justify or something. So I don't know why you would use that, but alright, sure. One non-Link S-Force monster. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. Each of your opponent's monsters in the same column as one of your S-Force monsters cannot target monsters in that column for attacks. So if you have a monster, and if your opponent has a monster in the same column as your S-Force monster, they can't target that monster for attacks, I guess. That's fine. Attack sort of prevention isn't really that good, especially when it's column-based, because you can just summon to a different column. It's really, I think, that just protects this card itself from attacks a little bit, and not even by a lot. So that's a nothing effect, honestly. And during your main phase quick effect, you can target one S-Force monster you control, shuffle it into the deck, then you can special summon one of your banished S-Force monsters. This effect is pretty good. Yes, you have to shuffle a monster you control back, which isn't ideal, but it's a quick effect, so you can just tag itself out to special summon a banished S-Force. That's really good. I don't think this is going to fix the deck's problems. The S-Force, individually, several of the cards are really good. Chiyomaru summons from the deck. It's a really great card. The purple Hairley, I think Palutena or something, that one's really good. Gravitino is pretty good. I think there's another one that's a little bit newer. That was a decent card. The problem is they don't really have a whole lot of ways to start their plays, and this doesn't really fix that, because a lot of the monsters that you want to play in S-Force are higher level. Basically, if you don't have Chiyomaru on the field or Chiyomaru in hand, you're kind of out of luck with a lot of this. And this doesn't solve that issue. That was when I played, which was just after release. I didn't really play with the second wave of support, so I may be wrong here, but just based off what came out in Blazing Vortex, if you didn't open with Chiyomaru or a way to get to it, which really just meant like Rhoda, to like one of 4 copies. I think the field spell also might have searched it. Regardless, if you didn't open Chiyomaru or a way to get to it, your plays were kind of dead, and a lot of your plays were multi-card combos, which meant you not only had to have Chiyomaru in hand, but you also had to have other cards to make it work, and it wasn't great. I think the deck has potential, which is why I bought them on release. I think the deck does have potential, but I think a lot of that potential is lost in how inconsistent it is, and this doesn't really fix that problem. This is a cool card. It does some things for the archetype that you want, especially that second effect, but it's not good enough unless you get some more consistency cards. The deck needed more than one card to make itself work, and this really wasn't it. They need like 2 or 3 good cards to really get it as a solid road deck. The pieces are there, but it needs that extra emphasis on making it actually function consistently to really do it. I do like the idea of the columns, and I like the effects that are based on like what column they're in, stuff like that. And they're all like minor floodgates or like minor nuisance effects, kind of like ice barriers, but better. Which is neat. Like nothing's really stopping you from playing the game, but everything is like making things a little bit more difficult for your opponent. They're all just inconveniences, which is it's good. I like that it offers interaction, but without being annoyingly so. But it needs to be more consistent, and to do that, you need more cards, and those cards, this is not that card. This is not a consistency card. This is just a fine card at best, to be honest. And that's all the news for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below, and let me know what you think about Illumination making a Zelda movie. It looks like they're doing pretty good work on the Mario movie. I wouldn't mind them trying to make a Zelda movie. It's not really what I'd have in mind. I obviously would just like a anime for Zelda. But that's not to say that Illumination couldn't do something really good. So let me know what your thoughts are down below, and we'll be back on Wednesday with more nerd news. And there should be a video tomorrow, actually. A small video, but a video.